This ain't your ordinary football show. It's the Old Dominion Football Show with Bruce Rader and Coach Bobby Wilder. Brought to you by Priority Automotive.
Week 2 of Old Dominion's third football season found the Monarchs down in Atlanta inside the Georgia Dome, where they found a much improved Georgia State team. But the game plan was simple: run the ball and stop the run. Throw in another outstanding performance by the special teams, and the Monarchs walked away with their 7th consecutive win, 40-17. Next up, a rematch with nearby Hampton University. Time to look back and look ahead. The Old Dominion Football Show starts now. I'm Bruce Rader along with Coach Bobby Wilder, whose team is looking for their 8th consecutive win tomorrow night. And although I'm sure it was fun to play in the Georgia Dome, there's no place like home.
Absolutely no place like home, Bruce. With the crowd, with our atmosphere, with everything that goes on a game day at Old Dominion. Very excited to be back. Week
1, Campbell tried to stop the run, and your quarterback, Thomas DeMarco, made them pay. Last week, Georgia State played the pass, and they ran all over their defense.
Right. Going in, Bruce, the plan was if they played a similar defense they did last year, it was primarily a 3-down front, rush 3, drop 8 in coverage. We were going to run the football, and we ran for nearly 300 yards in this game. Thomas did not need to be as much of a factor throwing the ball, although he was still very efficient. Outstanding job up front. It all started with the offensive line.
Were you surprised to see that?
I was surprised that they didn't make the adjustments during the game. I thought, Bruce, they would start to play more 7, 8 in the box when we showed that they were going to get a heavy dose of Colby Goodwin and Angus Harper, but they never really got out of it. With the respect for our receiver, tight end, and quarterback, they stayed in that pass prevent defense.
A tough offense to defend. Your big boys played well up front on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, very excited with our offensive and defensive line, Bruce, and that's been the biggest growth and maturity we've seen in our program is the offensive and defensive line. We ran the ball for nearly 300 yards. Our defense, Bruce, held them to 85 yards rushing. We had 4 sacks up front. They were 15 for 44 passing the ball, which is about 35% completion. And on those 44 attempts, Bruce, if we didn't sack him, we hit him half the time. So a lot of pressure by Ronnie Cameron and Eddie McClam, Chad Kling, and Chris Burnett. Those guys were very good up front.
Coach, unfortunately, some bad news this week. Your outstanding cornerback, T.J. Coward from Ocean Lakes High School in Virginia Beach, suffered a broken wrist last week. How bad is it, and who takes his place?
Yeah, anytime something like that happens to one of your young men, Bruce, it's really a disheartening situation for the player, for the team, for the coaches. And T.J. will be out for the season. That break, they had to perform surgery, put pins in the wrist. We're going to apply for a medical waiver, which means he should get this year back based on NCAA rule. If it happens in the first 20% of your games, he should get the year back as long as it's a season-ending injury. So we wish TJ the best. We're going to keep him around. I told him he's Coach Cowart now. He's going to help out with the guys. But we'll get Markel Wilkins in there. We'll get Aaron Evans. We'll get Keenan Terry. One of the nice things we have now, Bruce, is we have some depth. So we've got some players who can step in, and in this case, it's got to be next man in.
All right, now on an upbeat note, Coach Z had his special teams ready to roll again. 2 block punts, 1 return for a touchdown, 1 set up a touchdown, 2 long field goals. Special teams can make or break a team.
Absolutely, Bruce, and the momentum in this game was big because we were up 13-3, and we were going into score. We had the fumble. They come back, make it 13-10. Well, on their next punt, Bruce, we block it, score a touchdown. Now it's 20-10. They score again, make it 20-17. Then Paul Morant blocks a punt. We score to go up 27-17 in the half. So there's the momentum you were just speaking about right there. We've got 15 new players playing on special teams, and what I really like was the improvement you and I talked about from week 1 to week 2. We saw that improvement, and I'm hoping we'll see it again this week.
Here's another example of how important special teams are. Last year, your special teams were the difference in your 28-14 win over Hampton University. 2 blocked punts helped to get the early lead, and Hampton coach Donovan Rose says that it changed the way the Pirates ran their special teams. It's something he's been trying to forget.
Last year, they came here and, you know, special teams, all I can say is special teams. I'll just leave that alone. But I know if you came to the game, before you sat down and had your popcorn, you had 3 punts blocked, you know. So, you know, that's definitely something that, but I'm kind of not glad that happened, but that allowed me to focus. And, you know, right now we've kind of answered those areas.
Yeah, and in that situation Coach Rose talked about last year, we got it early on. They adjusted. Bruce fixed it. We couldn't get to it again in the second half, and you can clearly see now they're much better on special teams. Through the first 2 weeks, I see a much improved football team. Their punters punting for an outstanding average. They've got a good kicker. This is a good special teams unit, and this is going to be a challenge for our football team this Saturday against Hampton.
For the second time in 2 weeks, the Monarchs are honored by the CAA. This time, Colby Goodwin and Chris Reckling has his story.
The honors continue to find their way to Old Dominion. Last week, Antonio Vaughn was named CAA Rookie of the Week. This week, sophomore Colby Goodwin was named the Offensive Player of the Week.
That means a lot. Shows that we really have something special coming our way. You know, I came back my first game and I played pretty good in the line, blocked good calls by the coaches, so it was pretty great.
This past weekend against Georgia State, Goodwin carried the ball 26 times for 190 yards and a touchdown, marking the second highest rushing total in ODU short program history.
I just want to show out because, especially after last week, how they tried to say that we didn't have too much of a running game and all. So me and the line, basically like the whole offense was coming out saying like, yeah, we got to show people like that we can really put the ball on the ground and run it.
In his high school football career, Goodwin helped lead Phoebus to back-to-back undefeated seasons. He scored 29 touchdowns his senior year for the Phantoms. But this week, it's all about getting ready for Hampton, and Goodwin expects to be a big part of this week's game plan.
We got a lot of our points off of special teams, and also we got a lot of work to do this week on the offensive side. Defense did pretty good last year, but like offense, we got a lot to prove since we didn't do too good on the offensive side.
In Norfolk, Chris Reckling reporting for the Old Dominion Football Show.
Thanks, Chris. And talk about Hollywood. Prentice Gill came all the way from Los Angeles to play for the Monarchs, and tonight he's under the bright lights with Ali Lucia on the 1-minute drill. And if Sonny Stallings is the father of Old Dominion football, his wife Joan is the mom. They are the tailgaters of the week, and the toughest questions of the week always come from the fans. The Coach's Corner is next as the Old Dominion Football Show continues in 30 seconds.
Prentice Gill, wide receiver, another victim of the 1-minute drill. Are you nervous?
No, not at all.
Are you a dancer or a singer?
I'm a bit of a dancer. You know, I can get my Dougie on every now and then.
So let's see that Dougie.
I do my Dougie right now?
Yeah.
Okay. You would like to hold my football?
I would.
I get my Dougie on a little bit, you know. Get my Dougie on. That's how we do it back home, you know.
I like it. I like it. Are you a Facebook guy or a Twitter guy?
Facebook, Twitter, Black Planet. I do it all. You know, social network. That's my thing.
So are you going to tweet about this after?
Probably. I'm tweet about it. I got my man over there tweeting about it right now.
Any movie lines you can recite for us? Are you a movie guy?
Little bit. Movie lines. Probably none that'll be safe for this camera. You know.
If you could sing any song on American Idol, what would it be?
Any song. Probably Good Luck Charm by Jagged Edge. Nah, that's not a Dougie song. I get my Dougie on a little bit. Goes out to a special person in my life.
I think you passed the test today.
Monarchs.
What do you think of Hollywood?
I've told him the only time he's not allowed to do those dance moves is in the end zone after he scores a touchdown.
No flags, no flags. Duck on the grill. Don't see that very often in the parking lot at SB Ballard Stadium, but we did when we checked out tonight's Tailgaters of the Week.
Hi, I'm Joan Stallings, and welcome to the ODU parking lot. These are box people out here, and this is how we tailgate at ODU. Come on over. We've got Sonny Stallings back there. Wave, Sonny. Mike Disharoon, Tommy Frame, Tom Frame, Bobby Nealon, Kelly Stallings, Martingales, DeMartinis. We've got shark, we've got hot dogs, we've got hamburgers, we've got chicken, we've got sausage, we have pickles, we have...
This is Cowboy Hawk.
I'm gonna smash you. This is how we do it. Go Monarchs! Yay!
Still to come, Coach Wilder gives us his priorities of the week. And we turn it over to the fans as we shove him into the Coach's Corner. Coach, it's time to turn it over to the fans for this week's Coach's Corner. First question.
Hey, Coach Wilder, it's Carter Sabo from Virginia Beach. What's the toughest place to play in the CAA?
Hey, Carter, they're all tough to play on the road in the CAA, but the two that are the biggest and the loudest are Delaware and James Madison, and as a matter of fact, we head up to Delaware next week. Thanks for the question, Carter.
Hey, Coach Wilder, Jason Myers, ODU alum 09. Just got a question for you. My question is, I wanted to know who chooses the color uniforms you wear for the game?
Thanks for the question, Jason. That actually is mandated by the league and the NCAA. You have to wear dark jersey colors when you're at home, light jersey colors when you're on the road, and then whether we decide at home whether we're going to wear the blue or the black, that comes from the captains. I meet with the captains every Monday morning, and they tell me what they'd like to wear. Thanks for the question.
Coach, two undefeated teams face off tomorrow. Hampton coming off a big MEAC win. What are your three priorities for the game tomorrow?
Well, the biggest priority tomorrow in this game, Bruce, is going to be to win the special teams battle. You know, Coach Rose talked about it. I've talked about it. That was the biggest difference in the game last year between what I felt were two evenly matched teams. So we got to win the special teams battle. Number two is win the turnover battle. And right now, Hampton has an advantage in that area. They've only turned the ball over 3 times in 2 games, and to win close ball games like they've done, you've got to do a good job with the football. We've turned the ball over 5 times. We have not done a good job with the football on offense or with our special teams, so we got to be much better with that. And number 3, Bruce, I really feel like this one's going to be paramount in this game, is the field position. And what I mean by that is the drive start. You know, if we can start our drives closer to the 40-yard line, up around our 40, and if we can keep Hampton pinned starting back around their 30 or 20, then hopefully we can give their outstanding quarterback, David Legree, a little bit longer field and make it more of a challenge. So those are the 3 keys, I think, to this football game tomorrow.
Hampton quarterback David Legree, as you mentioned, much improved, and they have a transfer that's playing well.
They do, yeah. They've got a linebacker, Lindell Gibson, who played at Salem High School right here in Virginia Beach at Virginia Tech. He's their leading tackler right now, Bruce, averaging 9 tackles per game. He's around the football all the time. He can run. This is a much improved Hampton football team.
All right, real quick, next week you jump right into your first CAA season. This is the final tune-up in 15 seconds. What do you hope to take away from this game?
Well, the biggest thing I want to see, Bruce, is for us to start fast and then finish strong. We've got to have a mindset and a mentality to come out and compete with Hampton in this game tomorrow. We've got to start the game the right way. We can't have those early turnovers that we've seen in the Campbell game and the Georgia State game, and then finish the football game. That'll be big for us.
Kickoff tomorrow, Foreman Field, 6 o'clock. I love it when 2 local teams play. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, 12th Monarchs.